We're gonna play the music in 3, 2, 1. It's so loud. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That is it there. Okay. Welcome to the locker room.
Yeah,
It's been a week or two, somewhere around there.
something
It's
like
been a
that.
time.
It has. It
Something like
has.
that. We're back in action.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Hey,
All right.
and that's okay.
Well,
We're consistent. We're keeping it going.
Yeah.
Locker room's
Keep this
back in action.
keep this thing moving as much as we can.
Keep it running along. Exactly. We are busy. You're a new father.
Yeah.
I need my ritualistic naps every 3 hours.
Every 3 hours. Yeah.
Every 3 hours, So it's hard work. It really is hard work
Yeah.
to be able to nap that much. It takes skill, practice, and execution.
Yeah. Naps are good. I enjoy naps.
Mm.
Just,
That was like the most dismissive yeah I've ever heard.
I mean, I had a nap earlier today, actually. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We were all on the couch napping.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. There we go. That's cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, on to the podcast today. So last time we talked about role modeling as well as how to find role models and how to slowly become your role model,
Right.
Or be shaped by your role model without negative influences, one could say, right?
Right. Finding that base in yourself.
Yeah.
Starting, from within, inside out.
Exactly. Fun. Oh, like great movie. What a movie, Inside Out.
Yeah.
If you want a good movie to cry to, that's the one.
Well, yeah.
Like destroys me.
It's good.
That once again was a very dismissive. It's good.
I know it is good. I mean, I enjoy that one. I don't know if that one's like the most emotional one for me. Like,
Okay, what's your most emotional Disney movie? Let's start with Disney movie.
Emotional Disney movie.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Man, that's hard.
Oh, that was a long side.
You know what?
Okay.
Because I don't know if this is the most emotional one, but Pixar is usually pretty emotional ones. Like they usually
Pixar is devastating.
Yeah, right. So usually have those ones that are like they hit you in the gut. So one time I remember this was during COVID. We had like a group watching session in our bubble, and Luca came out.
Oh, Luca!
So we were watching Luca, and of course all of us were sitting here. We're all adults. We're like, this was not like Pixar usually has that gut punch where you start to get emotional. It was like, it's not happening. Like, where is it at? And then
it happened.
And then it was like, oh, there it goes. Like,
yep.
Anyway, that was a good one. But I don't know if it's the most emotional one.
No, okay.
Like, I can't think of what the most emotional one is.
What is the most emotional movie you've seen? Doesn't have to be Pixar. Doesn't have to be Disney. Most emotional movie encountered.
Oh, that's so hard. So it's so hard for me to tell because of my own stunted emotional growth.
Yeah. I don't know why I said yeah like that. Like, absolutely.
I'm just saying. So,
oops, my bad.
There's plenty of movies where like I should have probably cried, where I meant to cry, where I was supposed to cry, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I still have that problem sometimes where I let myself cry, but like I blink back the tears. One movie that was good that was like that. I remember.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the name of that movie? It's like it's not kids, but it's like boys or something. It was directed by like Jonah Hill. He made it. Oh, it was like this kid growing up. He was like skateboarding in the '90s. It was like it was like this little kid. And shit.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's called like Boys or something like that.
I feel like every comedian has one really, really serious movie that just like destroys you. Like what's it?
Mid '90s is what it's
What's
called.
mid '90s?
Mid
Okay,
'90s, yeah,
like, like Jim Carrey, and then there's like the was it Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind? Is
yeah,
that what how that movie?
yeah,
Yeah, that movie destroys me.
yeah.
Crying, weeping every time. It's just like yeah. Anyways,
For the
so
longest time,
on to
when I
okay.
was
Go
young, the
ahead.
one movie that I used to cry at when I was young, well, I used to cry at,
Mhm.
but when I was young, was Terminator 2 when it first came out.
Oh,
I cried like a
the
baby. I was, of course, like super
the
young.
slowly
Yeah,
going down.
cried like a baby. Like, why do you have to
Did
die?
you like my reenactment there
Yeah, oh
for
yeah, that was
slow
pretty
going? Thank you,
right
thank
on
you. I
point.
tried. I
That
tried.
was it. Cried like a baby. But
Oh,
now I cry more often. Like now things happen because now I allow myself to cry. So now it's like, okay, I
well, I
feel
think
the
that's a
tears
big
coming.
thing though, is allowing yourself to cry
Yeah.
and not feeling like less of a man for crying. Right?
No.
That's a massive component to it, right? And a component that we're going to talk about today, which is finding, well, I should say the second half of what we're talking today, because uh, last time we talked about role modeling, so we're connected in. So
Mm.
today's conversation is going to be once again how to find role models, but more so how we were able to come and find role models in, say, the more esoteric side of things, right?
Mm.
The um, media that we consume, the fictional characters, the narratives that we are put into, right, as we grow up,
Mm-hmm.
um, plays a massive role, right? Kind of a weird segue from Disney to Jonah Hill, which is an interesting interlude, but
Yes.
whatever floats the goat, I guess. Uh, but tell me, Nuts, what are some fictional, well, some movies and stuff like that, that actually triggered that reaction, right? Of hey, I am feeling some emotions, but I don't have the ability yet to access those emotions.
Hmm. So hold on. Okay, that's a very specific. You like narrowed it down to all right. I'm feeling
I
emotions,
honed
but
right into it,
I
right?
don't have the access or the ability
Yeah,
to access those emotions. That's
exactly.
what you're
Kind of
saying.
like what we talked about, right? Is you needing to cry from
Mm.
getting all these emotions invoked into us from this media we get presented, but we can't actually access it because one, that block has been put upon us, or
Mm-hmm.
two, we are scared to invoke those emotions, right?
Yeah. 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 Well. Yeah. No, I stopped. Yeah. Well, I stopped crying a long time ago. So, yeah, early in life, that was kind of forced upon me to stop crying. So, like, or to not cry, and it wasn't meant to. So that just became an automatic reaction to any time any tears
Yeah,
was like I don't even realize it. Like most of the times I watch things and I'll blink away the tears or whatever quickly and just keep moving. It
yep.
won't be like till like 5 minutes later that I'll realize, oh, I was about to cry at that. But uh, you know, so not being able to invoke those. I mean, there's a million movies. There's movies that come on all the time that I want to cry at now. That I like, you
Okay.
know, it's so many. There's
Hmm.
so many movies, shows, anything that has like just strong relationships, usually, especially male relationships, anything like that
Ooh, those ones hit.
makes me
The
like,
Pursuit of Happiness.
yeah, yeah, that one's
That
not bad.
one, that one's a big one.
Eh.
You know,
I mean,
okay. Once
I
again,
like the
dismiss
movie.
it right now.
I like the movie. I like the
'Cause that's-
movie. I do.
yeah,
It never
yeah.
made me want to cry though.
Really?
No.
Oh, I was a shambling
Yeah,
mess
that one?
during that movie.
No.
Like, spoiler alerts. So if anyone wants to skip this part, I'm gonna give you a random number to skip by, but I don't know, jump a minute. I
uh,
don't know. You'll figure it out. But the scene where Will Smith is holding the door
hmm.
and cradling um little Jaden Smith,
Yes.
devastating every time. I'm like
Mm.
a weeping mess, like terrible, snot out, like the whole 9 yards. It's not good.
I don't know. Okay, so if I think of a movie, like I never want to cry at that, but there was one.
Okay.
There's an episode of Ted Lasso. Um,
Oh, okay.
you know the
Yeah.
guy who started in Ted Lasso, who started out as his assistant, as the equipment
Uh
manager,
huh.
then he becomes the coach later. And there's an
Yeah, yeah.
episode.
And he like trash talks.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah.
last season where he's like at home. I think it's the last
Uh-huh.
season, and well, the latest season, and then he's at home and his parents relationship with his parents all messed up, and his dad has like this honest conversation with him, and he's like, I
Yeah,
didn't know. His dad tells him like, I didn't know what to do with you, right?
yeah,
And he's like, you were gifted, you were smart, like I didn't know how to be your father, and he
mhm,
like breaks down everything. I cried at that one for sure, like with him
yeah.
having that honest and that conversation with him about that breakdown in their relationship. I definitely, that one made me cry.
Mm,
That part.
that's a good one,
That was a good
right?
one.
Okay, let me ask you
Oh,
this now to
okay.
actually. Okay, go ahead, go ahead,
I
go ahead,
thought of
go ahead.
another one. I'll think of that.
Oh, wait, tell me.
This
Okay,
was
okay.
also a show called Brown Bunny. I told you about this show,
You told me about this one.
Brown
You
Bunny.
did.
Um, oh, there's no way to tell this part without spoiling the entire show, though. So,
Okay. Well, how about this? Everyone watch Brown Bunny.
uh-huh.
Give us a thumbs up. Like it if you like say whatever. That was such a pluggy way of saying that.
Yeah.
But let's go back
All
to
right.
Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Let's go back to that one because I can build a conversation on that one
Okay.
because I also haven't watched Brown Bunny yet,
You haven't watched it
even though
yet.
you told me to a while
You
ago.
should watch it. I'm telling you, it's a good one.
I should.
It's a
I
good
should.
one.
I'll watch it hopefully by the time we record our next podcast,
Yeah.
and then we'll talk about
It's an intense
it.
show. It's like gives you anxiety the
Yeah.
whole time, but at the end, the payoff between the relationship part of it at the end, it's like
No.
it hits hard. Yeah.
Okay. I will take your word for it,
Hmm.
and I will watch it next time. I will try my
You'll
best.
see what I'm
I
saying.
shouldn't say that I will. I will be honest with myself.
Hmm.
But anyways, so Ted Lasso.
Be honest with me and just
Let's
do
build upon that. I know. I know. I
it.
get
All right.
it. Okay. So building upon that,
Hmm.
then, um, you kind of mentioned that it's that deeper conversation with the father.
Hmm.
And I find that is also a hard conversation to have both in media but also in real life, right? And for myself, it was media that allowed me to learn how to navigate a conversation with my father,
Mm.
right? And same idea as with that there, right? Is like um trying to find a common ground between both different generations, different perspectives on manhood, different perspective on life as it is from two really, 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 really different generations, right?
Right.
And I'd say from our fathers to us is quite a massive jump in generations and societal beliefs and all that stuff. Um, how did that conversation in Ted Lasso with the equipment manager and his father um, kind of shape your perspective on your relationship
Well, it
with your
just
father?
it became clear. Like it was just like at that time, it was like, especially at that time, it was a conversation that I would have. It just like to have with my father. It just felt very I was able to
Mhm.
relate to that a lot. Of course,
Yeah,
we didn't have that conversation, but because
yeah,
I found when our building, like you're saying, like especially being on both sides of the spectrum now, I found that like instead of my father and that's just being a safe space and kind of meeting me where I am and providing safety for that, I found with my father in our relationship it was that it wasn't safe at all. So I had to find avenues in which I related to him, and that had to become the main focus in order for us to have a
yeah,
relationship. So I had to mold myself and my wants and desires and all these things in order to fit in with him and hopefully feel safe enough to be supported by him. But it only worked in. And I feel like that's backwards, especially being on the other side of that now. I realize like my job is just to be a safe space to an open space for like my son, for his expression, and for me to support that as best as I can, rather than him just trying to figure out a way to relate to me so that he can have any type of relationship. And that's where mine was. I was just trying to figure out a way to relate so that I can have any type of relationship. And
Mhm.
it just made a lot of sense. And like I said, the isolation that he felt in Ted Lasso as he was having that conversation, because he just wanted a father, he just wanted him to be there. And then the the father's point of view of just like, he wanted to be there, he just didn't know what to do with him. And because he didn't know what to do, he pulled away, right? And this cavern formed in the space where their relationship should be. And yeah, it just felt a lot like my relationship with him, my father.
Yeah.
So it hit
So like
hard.
it hit very hard,
It hit home,
right?
yeah.
And I think when we kind of boil down looking for role models or moments of healing in media and stuff like that,
Mm.
I think that's a really, really good way of summing it up in a very personal connection. Is that when you have something that triggers like that illicit response, right? And
Mm.
it might be a pull away from that situation, or it might even be a anger or weird amount of joy or happiness from a moment in a movie. It's actually taking a moment to sit down with it and simmer and ask why,
Mm.
right? And I think that's a really big component of finding out who we are. Like it's slept upon a lot is the asking the why of how we've gotten here,
Mm.
and how we can use this information to shape who we are, right? Um, and for myself, this I'll kind of talk on the same scene as it is right now. Is like when I initially watched that scene, regardless if it was from the actual show itself or those terrible YouTube shorts that are always on repeat
Uh,
are like 15 seconds of brain rot that steal it from the show.
right.
But whenever I see that scene and that kind of hardship between the father and the child and the separation of generations and understanding of each other, um, that honestly hit quite hard for myself, mostly because, well, my dad comes from a generation of refugees, right, coming
Mm.
from Vietnam, right? The hardened, terrible word to say, but boat people of Vietnam, right, the
Right.
people who left during the communist regime after the Vietnam War. My dad was one of those figures, and um, him growing up needing to be kind of in that mode of survival for so long, right? And I think that's what it was. It was just like the survival state.
Mm.
Never really allowed him until very recently to kind of dive a little bit deeper into the relationships he had with myself and my two older brothers. Right? It was always, um, did you have enough food to eat? Did you make sure that you're putting your career first, your life first, everything first, in order to make sure that your future is secure?
Right.
Right? And totally okay, great mindset on it all. But there was never that connection of I don't of well, how to be there for myself and my brothers in a more deep and emotional connection point.
Mm.
I don't say that's not a bad thing or a good thing, whatever, both ways, but it wasn't until myself and my brothers prompted those discussions of like, how did you actually feel? Like raising us and growing up with us and prompting us to become who we are now. How did that make you feel? Right. And in that scene in Ted Lasso, like a big thing is that open discussion that gets aired out, right?
Right.
And in lots of different media, right? That there's those moments where the father and the kid always kind of recollects and has that discussion, right? In some case, it's like what's that movie, Knives Out, where it goes really, really south, right? The inherency question
Right.
gets popped up, and it's like doom and death and whatever not. In this case, in the show, it provided both healing and discovery in different ways, right? And trying to find a media that allows you to see a great window of different variations of situation that you might be looking into is a really good way of eye opening it, right?
Hmm.
Of kind of opening the door of seeing where these discussions can lead to, right? And I think a really, really good movie to watch about like kind of finding role models and learning from past mistakes and learning and discovering who you are. I can never say this movie right, but Everything Always at Once. Is that how you say the movie?
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
That's the one,
Yeah.
right? That movie hits quite hard
Yeah.
on trying to figure out lost messages between generations as well as um, meanings between yourself, right? Trying to find the deeper self that you lost at some point,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. Very good example. That one's really good.
Yeah,
Hot dog
that's
fingers.
a good one.
Uh,
Hot dog fingers. Thanks.
yeah. But no, that's a good movie. It is.
Okay. What movie for you, Nos, prompted healing? Let's make that a little bit broader than instead of the very microscope one I gave you before.
Prompted healing?
Yeah,
Huh.
in some way, shape, or form. What movie gave you a feeling of healing in some way, shape, or form?
Feeling of feeling in some way, shape, or form.
A feeling of healing.
Oh,
Healing.
healing. Okay. That's just-
Sorry, I have a lisp. Yeah, my bad.
um, a feeling
Healing.
of healing in some way, shape, or form. Huh. So there's a few like movies. Like okay, if I go into movies,
Uh-huh.
there's movies that I watch that are always kind of a reminder of the world and what we're supposed to be like. There's a movie that like I always watch over and over again. It's also a Disney movie, Soul. Um,
Oh, that's a good one.
yeah, I really like that one. Right, it always just kind of,
Mm.
but I don't know if it's healing so much as so as like a reminder of the simplification of life and not to get so caught up in all the details, right?
Yeah.
And that
Yep.
it is way more simple than it we make it out to be, and to just
Yeah.
remember the important things, right?
Hmm.
That's a good one. Uh, I guess healing. So one that kind of had an effect on me. I think we've
Okay.
talked about this before. That had an effect on me. I guess it would be healing, but like I uncontrollably cried. I could not stop crying after I watched it, and that was the first Black Panther movie when I
Yes, we
watched it
did
in
talk about this.
theaters.
Yeah.
Um, that one had a very visceral effect on me emotionally. I couldn't stop crying afterwards, and it was more so. I guess it was healing because it was more so what I had held on to, and we talked about it before. What I was holding on to so much up until that movie, and it's more of a representation thing, and we had talked about it. Like,
Well, tell me about it. We talked about
yeah.
it, but
So
the podcast hasn't talked
So
about
the reason, and the reason I couldn't is because seeing myself represented on camera and in a film as a superhero where there didn't have to be any adjustments made. As a matter of fact, as a black person, seeing myself as a superhero on represented on the big screen with no really sacrifices made to kowtow or to fit in. Really, it was just like, nope, this is it. And it wasn't just
it.
one
Mhm.
superhero; it was a whole culture of people. There was a whole
Yep.
side of people that did not have to make any conform at all, right? And just proud of who they were. And then also part of that is I'm in a theater watching this. This is like the movie just came out. I'm also seeing other like what's it, white kids, different races and ethnicities, all enjoying the movie. Now, before this, up until this point, my biggest superhero, I used to always say I'm Superman, right?
Yeah.
And Superman, as we know, traditionally is, Clark Kent, white and white.
Like
White guy, right? Like, you know, brunette, white guy, right? That's who it is. But I
mhm.
always say I'm Superman. And this idea is like, I know I used to say it all the time as a joke to people, and people were like, "Oh, you can't be Superman." As a kid, you can't be Superman.
Hmm.
Is what I'm told. So there was this resilience. I want to say this defiance that I was holding on to, that I could be super. I don't care if I don't
Yeah.
look like him. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I can be that. And how hard I was holding on to that. Like I was like, no matter what you say, nobody can tell me otherwise. And I'm gonna fight you for that. And and I'm gonna like I was holding on to that so hard. And all of that came to a front when Black Panther came out, because I didn't have to make any concessions anymore. Like I didn't have to
Yes.
fight hard to say I could be that too. It was the first time really I saw that and was just like, on such a large scale. Like I've seen it in smaller scales, but on such a large scale to see that, and could just see myself immediately without having to be like, well, he's looks different, but that's okay, or anything like that.
Mhm.
And it never, those are things that I guess it was healing, because I never knew I was holding on to that until it happened.
Yeah.
And then I realized it hit me how much I was holding on to that and how much of a heavy weight that was. So that one hit very hard. And then because of that, I fucking couldn't stop crying. Like I couldn't. I was crying
Well,
like a baby afterwards. Like seriously, I was boo-hooing. Like you'd have
like,
thought somebody died. Like I was at a
well,
funeral. It was
well, in a certain way, it kind of was like a grief period,
yeah.
right? And this is why I preach to the choirs about why representation matters,
Mm-hmm.
right? And truly, I know there's a big conversation about like, oh, there's so much uh, representation now and all that stuff, and it ruins characters. No, it doesn't. Realistically, I'm gonna say it straight up. No, it doesn't. 0%
No, it
doesn't.
doesn't ruin
But
anything.
the big one is you provide an outlook and a template for these kids, for these people, for anyone to have an easier chance of attaching towards,
Yeah.
right? And it's exactly that, right? For us, Clark Kent, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern,
Yeah.
the Flash, right? I talk a lot about how these superheroes molded and shaped me, but I could never be them, right?
Right.
Same way as what you said. You could never be these people until there was that moment of, hey, I see Black Panther on the screen. I see Shang-Chi on the
Right.
screen. I see different cultures and races be respected and brought into the light in order to celebrate them rather than to just use them as figures,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And like, I think it's so powerful that you just mentioned that there were kids in the theater that also latched onto that, right?
Yeah.
Because they will never need to go through the judgment of you'll never be Superman,
Right.
you'll never be Batman, you'll never be Green Lantern, right? They'll never need that because they have Black Panther, they have Shang-Chi, they
Right.
have these figures that they can relate to without judgment, without uh, persecution of any sorts,
Right.
right?
Right.
And that is, I think, the power of having a oh, hair got wild. Having a role model in media and how to find those role models is yes, it allows us to have a deeper connection, but a quicker connection to people who we can relate to.
Yeah, a hundred
Right?
percent. Because nobody,
Like
like
I
I
think
said, that sense of understand that sense of rebellion. It's almost like in order to believe, which is so crazy. Like you said, people don't have to feel like how much of a rebellious like nature you have to have in order just to believe in something because it doesn't look like you. And how many people will tell you, like you said, you
exactly
can't be that, right? And you have to be
like
how hard.
the norm, like having a normative society is such a danger because at the end of the day everything blends together, but also you lose artifacts from every culture, every religion, all every gender and ethnicity. It all boils away, right?
Right.
And I have a hard time being accepting of that, right? And it shouldn't be that we should be deemed rebels because we fight against the standard norm,
Right.
right? It should be that resistance is normative, right?
Right.
Being different should be celebrated rather than being kind of rebellious, right,
Right.
against the normal society, right?
But unfortunately, well, so that's the thing, and I'm glad, like you said, like the representation has been. It's got a ways to go, but it has come a very long way. Uh,
Yep.
as far as being able to have those options and those people that you can look forward to and look at and see yourself in. Um, you know, I say movies like Soul and Canto is a good one too.
Hmm.
I watch that one all the time, but it's funny because it's like the little children on there and how detailed the animation is. But then there's
Yep.
just little details like how their hair looks, and it's like
Yep. Things are
that
a
looks
little
like,
bit
yeah,
different,
that
right?
looks like mine. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, that looks like, and the difference that makes in the children that watch and the people that come up and see it, they don't have to adapt. They don't have to. They can adapt something that doesn't look like them, but they don't have. They're not forced to have to do that and try to make it fit anymore. And
Yep.
like I said, the importance of that is huge. Um, and finding that out in the media, and then in conjunction with or to complement the role models that you have in your life.
Mm.
But it's a huge outlet, man, and finding those things, you find people that are uh, that represent values that are true to you. Like
Yep.
I'm a huge LeBron James fan. He's a great basketball player. Most of the reason I like him has nothing to do with basketball though. Like people talk about basketball with me all day, and I could argue all day about why I feel like how he's as great as he is, and why people who say otherwise don't know what they're talking about. I could have that argument, but
Yep.
most of it has nothing to do with basketball. Most of the people that are on my that I value, um, the reason I value them has that are in the public eye has nothing to do with their profession. 9 times out of 10. Not nothing. That's part of it, or else I wouldn't know them. But a big part of it is what they do outside of that and what they choose to do with their fame or the public eye, and how they choose to do things. And that's a big
Well,
reason,
I think
right?
that's a huge, huge
Mm.
reason, right? Is that fame acts as this magnifying glass and kind of shows both the well, it shows the real side of
Right.
a lot of different people, right? For better, for worse, of course.
Yeah.
But I think um, understanding the individual for the art that they're in, but also understanding the individual of who they actually are is a huge, huge category to go by, right? And having that discussion of like
Right.
what those two different people are, right? Is like this person might be acting like this in this movie shape or whatever, but who are they in real life? And maybe how do those two things connect together, right?
Right.
Because they will choose art forms that are similar to what they perceive, right?
Right.
Or things that they have passion for. You're never going to really get a job that you're not passionate for in that sense.
Right. You know, it's 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 a big thing, right? Like I know in the reason, and this is why, like it again, you say it starts with your basis.
Yeah.
your root, the things that you value, and that's where you're kind of projecting on the others anyway. Because at the end of the day,
Yes.
you don't know who they are, but they clearly represent some things that you value, right? Like for me, the ability to do things or having the public eye or the fame, or like everybody like me for a certain thing, has never been the super important thing, right? Um,
No.
it's I've always felt like if I ever got to that platform, what I would do with it would be the most important thing. Like the things that I would decide to do with that platform, um, the changes that you can make or the help that you can provide for people if you have a platform that big was always of value. Like any platform, I feel like is
Yeah.
always for me is going to be the amount of people I can reach, to maybe
Yeah.
provide a change or help, right? So that's why somebody like LeBron James, well, you know what I'm saying? Like I picked that again as like the amount of people in his own life that he helped become successful people around him. He changed the landscape of basketball, how everybody had, they used to just bring their friends with them and everybody just had an entourage. He changed that whole entourage idea now. It's like, no, the people around me are going to become educated, become their own moguls themselves. That my friends are
Yeah.
not just going to be beholden to me. No, one of them is the biggest agent in the NBA now. One is a production, and like everybody has their own job, and they're all successful in their own right. Also, I open up a school. For for people, I pay for people's grad. Like I do all these things with the platform that I have, rather than just sit and just enjoy the fruits and of my labor and just as my own, like just enjoy it myself and just take it all in. I share it with others and try to provide
Yeah.
opportunities for others, right? And that's a big value for me. That's one of the values I have, and of course, you see that in other people, right? Like we said. So now that's why I appreciate that. There's a lot of people that are great basketball players, but everybody doesn't choose to do that, right? That's why
No.
that person sticks out for me. And that's why, like we said last week, it's important to start with yourself, right? Like, what's important to you? And that will guide
Well,
you
I
in
think
what you see in others, right?
I think that's a beautiful way of putting it. Is that like your role models and your um, values that you get from the media around you, the figures around you, your parents, your friends, your family, it isn't necessarily giving you more information, but it's acting as an amplifier of the ideas that you already have,
Exactly.
right? As it acts as like a modulator, is a good way of putting it, nerdy way of putting it.
Right.
But it can either turn up that noise to a 10 or it can shut that noise down
Right.
for better or for worse in both cases, right?
Right.
uh, for us here talking about men's mental health and masculinity and reshaping the ideas of mental health and vulnerability. Like we want to be the amplifiers for that side of growth and
Right.
healing, right?
Exactly.
And LeBron James, massive amplifier for uh, being a focal point of growth for so many people,
Right.
right? He is tried and true a symbol of growth for a collective,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, for myself, if you look into more fictional characters, right? If you look in towards, um, let's just choose a random one. I don't know. Let's go with this is a hot take. Probably no one will know what this one is. But Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Right?
Okay.
Very specific, but a very big one in my life.
Okay.
Right? Animated character. He was a general during a made-up war. Firebend, so he punches fire out of his fists. Whatever, what have you not. But his whole journey is of trying to guide his nephew into becoming the person that has he knows his nephew can grow into. It's not that he's trying to guide him to be a good person or a bad person. He's trying to help him find his true identity. And that's literally his whole story. Is helping people try to find their true identity and his own identity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And when I look at it, it's like, oh shit, I kind of just took this character and amplified that in my life
Right.
because that is kind of my passion and thing that I enjoy the most in life is trying to find an avenue to share the knowledge and information so that other people can spread that idea, right? Or spread the best selves that they can,
Right.
right? And when looking at like my dad, for example, as well, kind of mentioned earlier how for me he was like the symbol of perseverance,
Mm-hmm.
right? The man who fled Vietnam through a boat as a refugee and came to Canada and made his way and became the man he is today, right? And when I look at my role models and or even my mentors or figures in my life, Nos, for example, or even our boss at our job,
Mm-hmm.
like a big thing that ends up happening is as I try to figure out how they play a role in my life, they become less of figures and they become more archetypes.
Hmm.
Right? They become kind of these nebulous ideas, these bigger, broader ideas of what I can use in my life, right? Uncle Ira, like I said, is self growth and discovery. My dad, perseverance. Nos is spreading, honestly, like love and knowledge among people in order to help them grow,
Right.
right? I know, too much credit to you,
I mean,
to be honest. I get it. But the ideas people start distilling into bigger, broader ideas, and then you have to use those archetypes that appear in order to reflect back on your life, right?
right.
And seeing what things that do you actually want to grow? What things do you want to turn that dial down and mitigate, right? It could be a large amount of self doubt or self deprecation that you don't really want to deal with anymore,
Right.
right? So you find role models who exemplify the exact opposite, right? People who exemplify confidence, gusto, and bravitas kind of deal. Those are really dorky terms for all that stuff. But you find those people who shine in those lights, right? And you figure out why are they like this? What created them to become this figure of grandeur, right?
Right.
And how can I take a few lessons from that and put it into myself so that I no longer have to deal with as much self doubt, or it makes my battle with self doubt, self deprecation, anything like that one step easier.
Right. Well, it's a whole list of people you put together, and then, like you say, you have
Yeah,
these archetypes that when you find those situations, you can ask yourself, what would this person do? And you can act accordingly. Like, and ultimately,
right.
repetition is the, you know what I'm saying, will allow you to grow in those spaces, and that will reduce the amount of fear and doubt that you have in those spaces, because repetition breeds consistency breeds, and repetition breeds confidence in those areas, right? The more you do it,
Mhm.
the more you consistently face the situation and handle it the way you want to and see the other side of it, the more it'll become natural. And like
Yes.
you're saying, like, as human beings, that's what we do. Like, the way we learn is we can understand everything, but if we don't have something in front of us or a pathway in which to act on these thoughts or ideas, or someone who can model that for us, and then we can take a part of that and not necessarily copy, but, you know, perform in our own way that same
Uh-huh.
idea or same way of action that we observed in other people. And we do that in our own way, and we see how they did it and be like, oh, I'd like to handle that situation the same way. So then we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we copy. And as we copy, as we understand and we repeat that, we learn, and it becomes a part of who we are. It's all through repetition, right? So like you saying that ultimately it doesn't have to be one person, but like you said, as you build and you see these values in these different people, and you kind of build this ultimate person that you want to be, right? Like, that's always going to be an amalgamation of different people. I mean, it might be, you might find one person that's like, that's it. Like,
The one,
honestly,
right?
yeah, like, honestly, my desire is, as a new parent, is I don't want him to be just like me, but I want to provide a lot of the qualities that he needs to be successful, and for him to be able to follow behind, and that will provide
Right.
success for him. And also, one of those qualities is to also look for, that I want him, is the freedom and the idea and the desire and the understanding that of looking for qualities in others as well, right? Um,
Mhm.
I want, and like I said, I don't honestly believe there can be the one person. I believe there can be a one person that can guide you through the doorway to really flourish. But once you get through that doorway, it's also their job to realize, like, I feel, to tell you, like, there's all these other people you can learn from too. To
Yeah.
also for you to create that ultimate person that you want to be, you know,
Well,
that
just the
represents
way you
you.
phrase that. is very interesting because, like, we spent the past episodes kind of talking about talking to your own past,
Mm-hmm.
right? And talking to your childhood self, or maybe the person that is in the mirror right now,
Right.
right? But when you look at role modeling and just the way you said it about that ultimate being, right? It's talking to the perfect version of yourself or the person in the future,
Mm-hmm.
right? The other half that, or the other third that we always talk about, between you and me, is you talk about your past self, your self as it is right now, and then your future self, right?
Right.
That perfect being that you want to grow towards, but you know technically it's never really achievable
Right.
because they are a perfect being, right? Humans are not perfect, but we can get aspects of that perfect being by looking at different aspects of our humanity,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think it's beautiful what you said about yourself as a new father is you're kind of building upon what humanity has been made of all along,
Right.
right? Is it's not that every individual person is learning and going through every little mistake, little trial. It's true they do, but the big idea and where we've gotten all our tools from and information from and all this stuff is that we as a society, as a civilization, have been built upon a ratcheting effect,
Mm-hmm.
right? Someone struggles a little bit more and they grow a little more. I just slapped the shit out of my mic. So sorry. But, yeah. But we kind of grow and we always take one step forward, right? One step forward.
Right.
And when we think of how we can be better role models, how we can be role models for the future generation as well as for ourselves, is that we are trying to build a better platform to take that next step, that next ratchet on the wrench there, right?
Right.
And as a father, right, you are applying human civilization in trying to teach your son what it is to be a healing man,
Mm-hmm.
right? A healing masculine figure by saying, "Hey, I am going to be the platform for people to grow out of."
Right. Exactly.
Right? I'm going to be that step so you can take the next step.
Exactly. That's what. Yeah.
That was deep as
You
shit.
know. Well, I feel
Whoa.
like ultimately, and that's my own personally. I feel like, but ultimately, like that's the goal, right? Like we want to,
Yep.
and that's always you talk about archetypes or values and stuff like that. We've discussed before. That's a big
Mhm.
value of mine. It's like ultimately,
Yep.
um, I just want to be a safe space so that people can relax, they can let their guard down and realize like they have what it takes or take whatever knowledge they can with them to grow, right? And to take that next step
Yep.
and um cuz shit, I've been through anyway. Been through a lot, man. Been through a lot, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, but and that's ultimately what it is and I understand like the best way to do that. I see it as parent. Now I'm going to go into this whole parenthood thing and how I feel is like
Uh-huh.
spiritually and it's spirits that inhabit a body that come onto this
Yeah.
planet, physical plane, spiritual plane, what comes as one. Our spirits ultimately do not abide by the rules of the physical world, right? Uh, that's not what we're meant to be. Our physical bodies and their experience on this earth are bound by the rules of the physical world. As parents, a spirit inhabits a body as a baby. It has no clue how to navigate this physical realm. And as parents, we're just the ultimate guides, right? Our idea is to experience as much as we can, provide, become the best guide that we can for the next one, right? Like I'm going to experience as much as I can. I'm going to understand as much as I can about the world. I'm going to understand how much principles and qualities and what pushes towards success and which allows you to be able to choose whichever direction you want to be. And then I'm going to exemplify that so that you can follow. If you want to follow and become something, you can say, okay, I can just follow you the way you did it. And I can be whatever I want to be, or I can find my way too, or I can find others. Like literally, it's like I don't know, it's like guidelines on this planet. It's like guides. Everybody's a guide, right? They have certain ways. Certain
Yep.
people, you're not going to follow everything they did. The way they did it is like, I don't want to do it that way. But, ultimately, that's why I always say, like, my job is to be the best guide, is not to ensure that my son or the person behind me does exactly what I do. It's just my job is to constantly improve myself, be constantly pushed towards being the best version of myself, and then anybody that comes into contact with me will then experience whatever they have to experience in order to improve and take from it whatever they need to take from it in order to improve or maybe get to where they want to go. And that's the best we can do, right? So anything else as far as is a projection, right? Anything else I want for him is really a projection of, I've realized, I was thinking about this earlier, it's anything else I want for him for when he grows. Like, I want you to be this type of person. It's like, it's really a projection of my own childhood self
Oh, 100%.
because he doesn't have a say in it, right? So anything I want for him is really just what I want for myself. So if I just look at it as, that's why I feel like so many people change when they say, "Oh, I've had children and it changed my life." It's like, yeah, because I think you have an external version of your childhood self that you're working towards now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
you know?
Well, it's a big thing is like you have to directly contact or navigate discussion with your childhood self.
Yeah.
You have to have that discussion of like what things were I lacking when I was in my upbringing?
Right.
What things did I need when I was growing up? What things can I give this next person in order to allow them to a safe space to grow out of my darkness and my demons,
Right.
right? And I think just what you said, it just brought into the idea, kind of from ancient Egypt, right? Is the idea of the true death.
Hmm.
Do you know about this?
I've heard. Yeah.
Is yeah, is like the first death is obviously when your body is gone and decaying, right?
Right.
It's when you die, right? But your true death is the moment where your last breath down the generations gets spoken, right?
Right.
The last thought that you had that was passed down the generations no longer becomes viable
Hmm.
or becomes existent,
Right.
right? And in some way, shape, or form, it's always going to happen, but also it's never going to happen, which is very an interesting conundrum to be put into,
Right.
right? Is like your ideas and your education and all your knowledge that you've gotten from your childhood to who you are now gets put upon the next generation,
Right.
right? Regardless if you want it or not, anyone that you talk to, they will use you as an archetype in any shape, way, or form,
Right.
right? And yes, some of those things might be really good. Some of those things might be shit,
Yeah.
as they say in Borat. It might be shit. But ignore my Borat. That was so bad. We're cutting that out. We're probably not cutting that out. But those ideas will forever be passed upon. So your effect is so great, but also, I'm not going to say negligible, but it gets muddied up by other generations piling on top
Right.
of it, right?
Right.
But also, that allows for such massive growth that by generation two, generation three of your ideas, it can flourish, it can grow as long as it's nurtured and fueled, and all the generations understand the power of legacy,
Right. Right.
right? And honestly, that's where our discussion uh, kind of boils down to is that things we do for ourselves, it isn't selfish,
No.
right? It's healing and it's growth for ourselves, but it's also growth for our legacy. Like it's then passed down to pretty much our second death, right?
Right.
The moment where we no longer have our ideas that are passed on.
Hmm.
or they've mutated to the point where they're generations of ideas.
Right.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
But we have the power to do that now and to grow on our next generations, regardless if it's friends, family, or in this case, parenthood. Right? We have the ability to change that legacy now for growth and success after.
Exactly. Exactly. And every little
Was
bit of
that
it.
kind of a perfect way to segue the ending?
I guess. Oh, you just cut me off. Whatever.
I
Then.
don't know.
We'll end it then.
I
No,
don't.
just
Oh
playing.
no, no, no,
No,
go
I'm
ahead,
playing. I
go
was gonna say
ahead,
that.
go ahead. Yeah, no, 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 we're okay.
Shh,
We're okay.
shh. It's over. It's
Shh,
over.
shh.
Let it go.
Cut it out. Cut it out. Choke the mic.
Nah, that's about right though. That's it, man. Legacy at the end of the
Okay.
day is established through the day to day idea of who you are. And like I said, we only got control over one thing, and that's ourselves. It's
Yep.
not selfish to grow that tree into the big and as high and as healthy as we can, right? So that more people
And
can
the
enjoy
only
the
way to do
shade.
that, yep.
Mhm.
And the only way to do that is to be vulnerable and have that inner conversation with yourself
Exactly.
of who you were in the past, in your childhood self, who you are now, and in this case, who you are in the future,
Yep.
or who you want to be in the future,
Right.
I should say.
Ah,
All
live
right,
this life, man. Live it. You only get
live this
one.
life.
You only get one.
Yep. All right,
All right.
that was nice.
That was it.
I don't. That was it.
Okay.
The locker
The
room,
locker room.
where we talk about.
Fertilizing our seeds the best way possible.
Oh, oh, that is so much worse than anything I've said. Oh, the locker room. I don't think I can top that one. All right. On that really deep note about second deaths and fertilization,
Yes.
we will see you guys in the next episode
Yep.
where
Yep.
we will talk a little bit more about legacy.
We will continue this conversation. Like and
Continue
subscribe.
the
All the
conversation.
good things, keep us going.
What he said.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hate that. I don't hate it.
I know that.
I don't hate it. I don't,
We hate is a strong word.
yeah.
Don't get us demonetized by saying that.
No, but like and subscribe. Do all the things
Like
and
and
share.
subscribe.
Like, subscribe, and share. Just place it
Share
out.
is big.
Yeah.
So that we can grow this conversation
Exactly.
with everyone, right? Because this is a conversation that needs to be had,
Continuously.
and we want to keep talking.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we do. All right. Intro out. Outro out.
Outro out.
Whatever word is. I don't know. There we go. Okay.